Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace of Almighty Allah be with every one of us. Ameen. Inshallah, today we are going to be focusing on the topic vocabulary development, spellings. Spelling is about the process or activity of writing or naming the letters of a word. Spelling is about the process or activity of writing or naming the letters of a word. Therefore, accuracy in the spelling forms of words must be exhibited when writing. The spelling rules. Mastering the spelling of words is an essential skill for effective communication. Lack of this skill would not only affect good communication, but equally go a long way to give away bad impression of the message sender. Some of these rules are explored below to help predict how words are spelled. Verbs and suffixes. If a verb ends in y, that is, if y happens to be the last letter of a word, the letter is changed to ies for the present simple. This is the case. It has to be when the subject is a third person singular. When the subject is a third person singular, it changes to IED to realize the past form, but retains the Y in the progressive form. Here are illustrative examples. When you have the word try, tries becomes the right form for third person singular. Then you have trying as the progressive form, then tried as the past tense. The same case in the case of study. You have studies, studying, studied. Defy, defies, defying, defied. If the final Y is preceded by a vowel sound, that is, if in a word now, Y comes the last of the letters that form the word. The letter that comes before that final Y. If a word is in that form now, the final letter remains unchanged. I repeat, if in a word Y, where Y is the last letter, the letter that comes before the Y, when preceded by a vowel sound, the final letter remains unchanged. That is, the Y remains unchanged. This is in contrast with what was discussed just above now. Here is the table illustrating some examples. We have pray, praise, praying, prayed, play, plays, playing, played, fray, phrase, fraying, frayed. Now, if a verb ends in the vowel letters IE, it has the following forms: vie, vies, vying, vied, lie, lies, lying, lied, die, dies, dying, died. Now, in the case of doubling of consonants, words that consist of a single syllable double the final consonant before taking on a suffix if the last consonant is single, preceded by a short vowel sound, and the suffix begins with a vowel. Here are some examples. When you have the word hit, you have hitting. Since the letter before the last T here is a vowel sound, then it means T has to be doubled to get the progressive form. So from hit we get hitting. Same goes in the case of beg here. The letter E is a vowel. G has the preceding letter which is vowel. So it means G has to be doubled for us to get the progressive form of beg, which gives us begging. Same thing applies to sit, where we get sitting, pat, where we get patting. Now we have to double the final consonant in 2-syllable words. Double the final consonant in 2-syllable words that end in a single consonant. If the word is stressed on the last syllable and the added suffix begins with a vowel sound. Here are some examples. When you have remit, you have remittance, rebel, rebellion, recur, recart, repel, repelling. Please note, if the stress falls on the first syllable of the derived word, the consonant is not doubled. Take note of that again. If the stress falls on the first syllable of the derived word, the consonant is not doubled. Now, dropping of letters. The silent E. The silent E. A silent E occurs in a word if the letter does not translate to any sound in its pronunciation. In a word that ends with a silent E, drop the letter if the word attracts a suffix that begins with a vowel sound. Here are a few examples where you have hope. The E is dropped to get the progressive. So we have hoping. 2, we have dance. We drop the E to get dancing. Number 3, we have creative. The E is dropped to get creativity. 4, we have remove. The E is dropped to get removable. Now, here is another thing to note. You have to retain the silent E if the suffix begins with a consonant sound. You have to retain the silent E if the suffix begins with a consonant. For instance, when you have first, so you add food to it, forceful, and the full you add to it, you observe that the full has free sound, which is a consonant. So in this case, the E has to be retained. The E that ends the word first has to be retained. So from first we have forceful. Then hope, the E is retained to have hopeful. Peace, E has to be retained to have the word peaceful. Then sincere, the E, the last E has to be retained to get sincerely. Please note again, there are words that do not follow the rules stated here. A very good example of such word is argument. Take note of that, please. Now, adjectives and suffixes. Adjectives that end in L. Retain the L when the ly suffix is added. Examples of these words are careful. The L that ends the word careful has to be retained to get carefully. Number 2, prayerful. Prayerful. The L has to be retained to get prayerfully. powerful. That's number 3. The L has to be retained to get powerfully. 4. Useful. The L has to be retained to get usefully. When, in the case of IE or EI in a word, that is, in words that have letters I and E in their spelling with long E sound, letter I comes before E, except if the sequence is preceded by letter C. Here are some examples. For the IE, you have chief, brief, mischief. Then for the EI, you have deceit, perceive, receive. Note, students, exceptions to this rule include the words height, cease, either, and neither. Inshallah, this is going to be the last topic and the last lesson for this week. May Allah makes it easy for every one of us in our endeavors. Success is all I wish for every one of us. May we locate it wherever we find ourselves. Ameen. Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.